Hello and welcome to the Hooligan Report for another week. I'm your host as always, SM, and with me I have Cruyff.
Ja, guten Abend, meine Freund.
I also have Cooksen.
What is love? Oh baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
And we have Typeclub.
Hello.
Nice and normal. We've got a lot to get through tonight, boys, so we'll get started, and we might talk about the Premier League games from last weekend, and we'll start with the game between the title contenders Chelsea and Man City, which again finished 1-1, as the earlier game in the season did. How'd you guys see it?
Yeah, it was the 1-1 draw between the two contenders, as you said. Some good goals there, yeah?
Yeah, thank you, Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah.
Facing the sack, mate.
Great goals, really. The play from Chelsea, I don't know who sent it along, maybe Ivanovic, and then the cross from, was it Hazard?
Yeah, it was. I think it was Ivanovic threw for Hazard for the assist.
Yeah, first touch on that for that cross was absolutely magnificent, and the tapping by Remy. But a great play, and even for the anticipation by Silva, that was great too, after improvising from Aguero's misfired shot.
Interestingly, when you see the replays for the Remy goal, Company looks like he's a bit off the pace in terms of blocking the shot, or blocking the cross, I should say. He hasn't looked right all season, really. He's
quite injury prone, and I think that's starting to actually affect him.
I mean, Company hasn't actually really been that well since the last time they won the title, which is like 11-12.
Well, and last season.
He still was a bit sus last season too. I mean, we gotta say our best centre-back in a little bit. He really hasn't, not for a good solid 2 years now. I mean, other centre-backs have moved past him, and he's just injured or out of form and not the player he once was right now.
How'd you see it, Typeclub?
Actually, it was a bit of a letdown. I was expecting a really good match. A little bit let down. Both teams played in their shells, it seemed.
Which is surprising, really. When it's at Stamford Bridge, you'd expect a Mourinho side to go out and really give it to them. Obviously, we all expect him to park the bus away from home to an extent, but at home, you'd expect him to be a bit more attacking, a few more goals in it.
I guess, though, a draw for Chelsea suits them more than a loss, and a draw for City only leaves things how it was, so I guess a draw wasn't that bad of a result at the end of the day.
I think both sides are pretty happy with the draw in the end, to be honest, because, yeah, as you say, it leaves things as they were.
It's professional by Jose team.
Absolutely.
Professional performance.
Speaking of professional performances, we had Stoke win 3-1 over QPR, the highlight of this being, of course...
perfect hat-trick.
Johnny Walters with the perfect hat-trick. First time since 2011, I believe.
Carlos Tevez was the last, wasn't he?
No, in fact, it was Lukaku for West Brom against your mob, and I think on the same day, Kevin Nolan for West Ham got one.
I know Hasselbank hit one back in the day against Spurs, all glorious goals as well.
Speaking of glorious, the back heel for his first one was probably the highlight of the three for me. Just absolutely brilliant vision and brilliant touch.
I'm surprised Stoke actually scored a goal, to be honest.
I'm surprised we're talking about Stoke playing football, to be honest.
Well, my mate, who's a part-time QPR supporter, he supports Liverpool the rest of the time when they're winning matches. When he found out they were playing Stoke, said, "Oh, Stoke are pretty easy beats, aren't they?" And there was famous last words, I guess.
And Harry got sacked, or he walked away.
He did his knee, didn't he?
He's getting knee surgery. Get it right.
Yeah, the old knee, eh?
Yeah. Because managers have never been known to manage from the stands, have they?
What's he going to do?
I think it's legitimate, to be honest. But
you think it's legitimate that he couldn't go on being a football manager because he has to get knee surgery?
How's he going to do training?
He doesn't do training. That was one of the biggest criticisms levelled at him, was he's never at the training pitch.
How's he going to do an interview?
Didn't he have a bloody heart attack like a couple of years ago and kept on managing?
Yeah, Souness had heart surgery and kept managing.
No, but didn't something happen to Ari as well?
I think he had knee surgery earlier. I think he had knee surgery in the summer.
Maybe I've got that mixed up.
I was reading a really scathing article about Ari from a QPR supporter who was saying he had knee surgery in the summer, and I think they had McLaren step in. It must have been McLaren before he went to Derby, and that was actually when they were looking their best in the championship. Sorry, so it was at the start of the championship season. And that was actually when they were looking their best, when Redknapp wasn't in charge of the team.
I have a question, though. What's Sky Sports going to do? I mean, who did they interview on deadline day outside of the car window? I mean, I can't see Van Gaal stepping up. I mean, Wenger will hit the beach.
Who likes their Range Rovers? Can't really think of any. Maybe Big Sam.
Maybe Brendan Rodgers outside of the plastic soccer.
or a solarium.
Oh.
Beckham's got about 10 Range Rovers, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, but David Beckham's he's probably smart on football, but a manager, he was probably as thick as a plank.
Oh, I agree. If you heard him speak sort of thing, like, he doesn't sound too sharp, does he, lads?
You watch, if he signed a foreign player, they'd leave after a couple of weeks because they just wouldn't understand the thing he's saying.
That didn't stop people staying when we had Fergie.
Fair enough. Speaking of...
Just a wee bit.
Mate, you're full of the accents tonight.
Just a wee bit.
Well, speaking...
I'm a man of many talents.
Speaking of glorious back heels, we'll talk about your mob now, Cruyff, and that's Arsenal, who got their proceedings underway with another glorious back heel assist for, I believe it was Giroud who was put through on goal and started the avalanche of 5 goals.
Yes, I think the performance was very convincing. Aston Villa were very poor, but we played very good football, and we deserve the win.
11 goals in 23 games, I think it is, for Villa.
That's got to be... if they don't go down, it will be one of the greatest escapes in football.
I mean, now here's the thing, though. Thinking about that game, step one, you expect Ozil to make the good assist, considering his eyes literally go around his head. And two, here's the list of players who are outscoring Aston Villa for this season in total. I mean, they've scored 14 goals this season.
Sanchez.
Now here it is: Aguero, Costa, Sanchez, Harry Kane, Leo Messi. Ronaldo scored more in October.
I remember having that discussion.
Back in October.
Yeah.
Apparently Villa are good according to Apollo. They're just in a bad patch.
Mate, did you say they battered you because they beat you in possession? That's all you need to do.
If you have possession, that's the only stat that matters.
Yeah.
So there's still 3 more names. One's obvious, 2 are not.
Charlie Austin?
No, Neymar, Benzema,
Oh yeah.
and Mario Mandzukic.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
I mean, considering Robin van Persie's on I think he's on 12 goals and he's had a crap season. So it's not looking good for Villa when...
I can't believe they're still out of the relegation zone, and that sort of started the conversation with Apollo because he took a swing at Hull, but I can't understand how they're not in the relegation zone, and really it's that early season form where I think they were second at one point after a few games.
Just quietly.
Villa?
Yeah, because they won their first couple of games.
5-0 victory, even on Villa, it's still impressive, and we're hitting form at the right time. We're getting we're getting key players back at an important time as well. So I reckon we'll finish third the way we're going. We don't have a tough one home.
That's a
Fourth
trophy
place
season right there, isn't it?
On.
Yeah.
Is Santi Cazorla the new top dog?
Ooh, well, I don't know. He's playing well at number 10, but if him and Ozil just switch between the left and centrally, I mean, there's no reason why they can't stay in the side together.
You can't speak sense to a football manager. God forbid we've tried on this podcast.
And I guess the other big positive sign for you, Cruyff, is Walcott scoring a goal and looking like he's getting back to his best.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be vital against Spurs, I think, with his pace. Hopefully Alexis is fit again, because in the last derby, for some reason, he was left on the bench.
Yeah, I think that was...
I have no idea why. It was grand final day. We all know who won that game.
That's right, yeah, because this is the set of fixtures that were played grand final day. So I have absolutely no memory of any football matches from that week.
Yeah, but I don't know why he was left on the bench. He changed the game as soon as he came on. So I mean, hopefully he's fit and he can start on Saturday. But I guess we'll just have to see.
I mean, also, I had another point too. Trying to remember it. So, no, Aston Villa though. Well, I mean, when you think about it through their club's history, I mean, they never seem to be involved in anything, don't they?
They're a very plain club, yeah.
No title runs, no relegation battles.
They won the Champions Cup in '81, I think, and they've won it twice. I think they've won it twice.
To be fair to them, when Martin O'Neill was there, they actually looked a pretty decent side, and they were pretty good to watch. And they used to start seasons pretty strongly, I think, and they'd finish around that sort of 5th to 6th place a couple of seasons in a row.
That was because of Ashley Young.
They had Young, they had Milner, they had Bonlahor was in good form, they had all those sorts of guys. Barry, yeah. They actually had a pretty decent side back in the day, but since O'Neill's left, they've kind of gone downhill.
Yeah, he fell out with Randy Lerner. That was a problem.
That was kind of the start of the end for them, wasn't it? Because I think he fell out because of their transfer policy, which is obviously what's gotten them to this point.
They're going to get relegated.
I'd be very surprised if they don't get relegated, to be honest.
Well, if they keep winning possession, there's no reason why they should get relegated.
We won
Absolutely.
possession.
But we're
Get
talking
in.
about the Football League table.
Hey, say that again?
We're talking about the table, though.
Yeah, but if they're winning possession, that's the main thing. They shouldn't be relegated if they keep winning possession.
Yeah, because it means they're better than the other side, isn't it? Doesn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're Barcelona-like.
But speaking of players that made good comebacks from injury, we also had Sturridge return from injury for Liverpool and score within about 10 minutes of coming onto the pitch, which was very positive signs for any Liverpool supporters out there.
It was an excellent home run, I will say that.
Liverpool, they've gone up to 7th in the table. That's amazing.
It's probably the highest they've been all season.
Wait. Where's it on the Scouse Boom bus cycle? It's February. Where's that?
I think that broke down actually about 2 months ago. Well, it was Sturridge's first game since August.
And only his second goal of the season.
Pardon?
It was still outscore Villa. That's right.
I was about to say, you ruined my punchline. I was going to say, watch out, Villa, he's closing in.
Coutinho's in good form.
Actually, has David Villa, the player, scored more goals this season than Aston Villa, the team? We need to look that up. Has he been playing for,
No, remember, it's season over for them.
Ah, damn.
I don't think he's played. But Liverpool, I mean,
That'd have been a good punchline.
they left Gerrard and Lovren out of the squad entirely. Like, they weren't even on the bench, so
Surprising that they're finally resting players.
it just so happened that they got a good result. They left Gerrard and Lovren out, and things happened for them.
So Gerrard is like a massive weight on the shoulders of Liverpool.
Well, yeah, you remember when they lost to Basel, and the player came out and said, we targeted those two guys because we thought they were a bit vulnerable there.
But it's okay. A Gerrard thing did win on the weekend. It was a horse. It had a come from behind victory.
Was that Gerrard's slip?
Yes, it came from behind. Didn't slip off at the end and choke.
Stayed on its feet.
Well, another come from behind victory was Liverpool this morning over Bolton. Spared their blushes in the last few minutes through a couple of goals from Sterling and Coutinho. But Bolton for a while were looking pretty good for going through.
Wasn't it Jean and Coutinho?
I thought it was Sterling. Maybe I think it was Jean who provided the assist for Sterling.
Oh, great goal. Actually, you're right. Yeah, but great goal from Coutinho.
Yeah.
Coutinho is on fire.
Do we reckon Liverpool will be able to keep hold of him? I know there's been some discussion on the forum about it.
Yeah,
Did
I
you
brought that up
go?
today,
Okay.
actually. Yeah, I brought that up today. If they don't make Europe, I'd say next season, I'd say see you later.
Coutinho just signed a contract, though, like this week.
I can't think of any Liverpool players recently who have signed a new contract and then left in the summer. I'm racking my brains, so I
Yeah.
can't think of anyone.
Me either, man.
I think there's someone that I must be thinking of things.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
It's on
I
the tip of
mean,
my tongue.
He might have been having a chat with.
It's eating away at me. I can't.
Yeah, it's heading away at me. Yeah.
The thing is, you've got to. The question is, he signed the contract, yes, but what's the buyout clause?
Who's his agent?
I don't know. But it wouldn't be difficult to swindle E&I, no matter who you are.
Yeah, it'll probably be a packet of chips or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll move on, and we'll discuss the other big talking point from the weekend, which occurred, unfortunately, with my side up against Newcastle, late in stoppage time in the first half when Elmohamady punched the ball into the net, and I'll unashamedly admit that I jumped up from the couch screaming because I thought it was a goal, only to sit back down rather sharply.
What did the mate say?
They laughed at me. To be fair, though, they did actually compliment the linesman on being able to spot it because watching it live, it was very, very hard to tell what had actually happened. And it was only from the
You
replay.
can't be doing that. He should be banned retrospectively.
I was about to ask, do you guys... I mean, he got a yellow card at the time, which I think would mean that he can't be banned retrospectively.
I
regardless.
was shit staring, but I mean,
Genuinely, I reckon he should have been sent off because it's as bad, if not worse, than diving. 'Cause
But it was a good fister. I mean, he got good contact.
he did get good.
It would have gone into a decent row. I mean, that's
Look,
good
I
for an
reckon
AFL team.
I reckon that's a Golden Fist, isn't it? Golden Fist nomination.
Yeah.
But quite
Good
seriously,
fist, eh?
because if you can get yellow carded for simulation, which is creating a goal scoring opportunity, actually scoring a goal illegally has got to be at least as bad.
I think it's just something that you look embarrassed about. I reckon it's not a red card thing. It's just because if you see it, the ref sees it, it's a yellow card.
But
You
if the
look
ref doesn't
stupid.
see it and that would have levelled the match at 1-1. If we'd then gone on to get a point or won the game, Newcastle fans would have been rightly furious.
You better score a goal like Diego Maradona to get away with it. I'll do it against England.
What was the score?
It was 3-0 in the end. So
Is Bruce gone yet?
Sorry?
Is Bruce still there?
He is. There was a rumour in the papers today that the owners are looking at bringing in Neil Lennon from Bolton because he's done a decent job with them, and obviously formerly of Celtic. But I can't see any credibility in that one, to be honest.
Well, I know a
Do
manager
Newcastle
who's
even have
great.
a manager at the moment?
Sorry?
Do Newcastle have a manager right now?
I think they've appointed Carver for the rest of the season, and he wants to stay there long term. He's a bit of a Sherwood, I reckon. Sees himself as there long term, but he'll get the flick in the summer no matter what.
Right.
But speaking of Sherwood, do we see him potentially going to QPR?
That's a big
Well,
rumour.
I hope so.
From-
It'll be funny at least.
From one former Spurs manager to another.
Yeah, exactly. And I think they made the point. Redknapp was brought in right before they went to play Sunderland away, struggling in the relegation zone. And 2 years on, he's left, and they're playing Sunderland away next week, and they're still struggling in the relegation zone, and they've lost a lot of money doing it. So, interesting times to be a QPR supporter, but also interesting times to be an Australian. We'll move on.
We need to talk about United.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
I was
We need to talk
skimming
about
past
Darley
it.
We're
Blind. Talk about how Darley Blind is maybe the best midfielder in the world, or soon to be.
How'd you rate your formation this week, Cookie?
It was
Turn
good.
it up. He's up, Turbo. Best midfielder in the world. Jeez.
May I?
Wow.
Well, hopefully.
What?
He just-
Does Nemanja Matic not exist anymore?
Well, considering Marouane Fellaini tore him a new arsehole, yes.
Or how about Fabregas?
He's non-existent, not important. Even Anderson beat him. Would you want a midfielder who lost to Anderson?
What
who
did
I
he beat,
believe,
man?
who I believe left this week to go to a Brazilian club, I think. Was it Internacional?
Yes,
Something? Yeah.
for free.
Yeah.
Except they had to pay for the cargo plane to carry his big fat ass.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it was
George,
good. I mean,
some guy named George Mendes has been talking a bit of trash about Manchester United.
Yeah, I saw that actually.
why? He
Um,
just wants more money out of
basically
us.
saying that the manager is absolutely useless.
He's just
Well, it's because
disappointed.
he's not playing Falcao. He's a player.
And wasn't it Joey Barton came out last week and said that was the worst Man United team he'd ever played against?
Well, no, I can.
They're all just digging in.
They're all just it's a free fall, Cookson.
Yeah, who cares about Joey Barton? He
So
lost.
anyway.
He owes us a title. That prick.
Yeah, that's true actually.
But yeah, Darley Blind's back. I mean, he adds so much more considering he's more active than Carrick. He's more mobile. You can play him anywhere he works. I mean, it's just, I still don't want to see Rooney. I want to see Rooney up front, not in midfield.
My fantasy team would like to say that as well.
So would every other United supporter. But yeah, it's decent. We're improving. I reckon. It's the top four. Here we go. I think
And
we're going to
Manchester
win.
United, have they signed? Did they sign anyone?
Yes.
You signed some kid on
Valdez.
loan from, was it Bolton?
Yeah, we needed him for our under because we sent someone out on loan to Bolton to play in the first team.
Yep.
We need someone for our under 21s.
Is that the legitimate reason?
Yeah,
Okay.
proven shorter defenders.
Oh, fair enough.
Unless he turns into somehow the next Zinedine Zidane or David Alaba, you never know.
Well, yeah, no, I wondered genuinely whether you were basically loaning him in to have a good look at him and see whether you wanted to buy
What?
him.
Wait, pause. How are Zinedine Zidane and David Alaba mentioned in the same sentence? That's what I'm more concerned about here.
He could be, just very unlikely.
What? So he could be like a left back, or he could be like a number 10.
Yes, he could be both. He's magical.
Could be both.
Jesus Christ! Dear,
Who are we talking about?
I got no idea.
Some kid from Bolton.
Yeah,
Okay.
You're turning into Liverpool. You're sounding like a Liverpool supporter.
but that'd be saying we can win the league every year. All right, we're gonna win the league, lad.
Oh, Steven Gerrard.
I did enjoy that the Bolton fans were getting in a bit on that lovely chant this morning. Seems like everyone's doing it.
It'll follow him till he retires.
Yeah, and
Even
probably
that-
beyond. If he comes back as Liverpool manager, I reckon it'll resurface.
Even when he pops into the stores, even when he pops into Macca's to have a quarter pound, I expect all the teenagers behind the desk to go, Steve Gerrard.
I did not understand a word of that sentence.
When he goes to McDonald's to order his quarter pounder,
Oh, okay.
everyone
Well,
at the
makes
store
sense.
should give him it. Everyone. I want him on constant. It needs to follow him.
He will be haunted by that.
You've got no mercy.
But now we might move on, Cookson, if it's okay, to talk about the success of the Soccerroos over the weekend. I
He
think
went
it was our
great.
first bit of silverware for the national side.
Without Tim Cahill, we're in a world of trouble.
Spoken like somebody who didn't actually watch the game. Who scored our goals, Crove?
Luongo.
Luongo?
I was asking
Troisi.
Crove, Cookie.
I know Luongo scored one.
Yeah.
And Troisi, maybe?
Yeah.
Was it Troisi?
How many different goal scorers do you reckon we had for the tournament, Crove?
Oh, I'd say 8.
Are you looking at the stats right now?
No, I swear to God I'm not. I have Facebook open. I would say 8 at a guess.
That's just a bloody lucky guess. But 8 different goal scorers. I don't know how you can say we're in trouble once Cahill leaves. I think we've got the nucleus of a very good young side now.
Yes, but
It's still replacing him. I mean,
who scored? A left back? Davidson, yeah? Who else scored? Troisi?
In the final? No, so it was Troisi and
No,
Luongo.
just in general. Luongo, Troisi, Cahill, Davidson,
Yeah. Cruz, yep.
Yedinak. So
Milligan.
6. Milligan.
What do we say?
And one more.
And Sainsbury.
Okay, now, how many of them are defenders?
2.
Davidson and Sainsbury.
Okay, how many? And Milligan.
Milligan's
If he plays-
centre mid.
Alright, now, how many of them are going to score regularly?
I would say
Not
Cruz.
many.
Out of those
No,
defenders
out of
that you've
those-
named.
So we cut 5 from that list. Now, who else is there? Troisi, I'll give you. Luongo, I'll give you. Cruz, I'll give you. Who else was there?
Jedinak.
Yedinak, dead ball maybe. And whoever else we said, but
I think that's a lot more options than we've had in the last few years.
maybe yes. But are these guys big game players like Cahill was?
Then consider we've also got guys like Juric and Burns who didn't score, but Juric, for instance, set up the winning goal. Burns, who looked very sharp all tournament, who just didn't find the back of the net, but may yet find form in the national team. We do have other strikers coming through.
That's all good and well, but to replace someone like Cahill who has, I guess, presence is a lot easier said than done. People can score goals, but you need presence, you need leadership, all that sort of stuff as well. I don't think it will be as easy to replace him as what you're suggesting.
Oh, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying with a click of our fingers we're going to replace him and have another player scoring as many goals as him. What I'm saying is that we're going to be able to win matches without him, as shown by winning the final with him off the field.
it'll be scrappy, but again, it'll take time. If not, we'll just get our cloning specialist out and we'll just get Ronaldo and just clone him. Problem solved.
Why not?
Hey, apparently he's from Perth or something. So
Yeah. Did you end up looking that up? Because that was true.
Yeah, his grandparents live from Perth, but I'm talking about the Brazilian Ronaldo. We need some.
Brazilian.
Oh, that one.
Well, we could. To be honest, if I could pick any striker, we'd probably need someone like Ibrahimovic. Like he can hold up, be creative, but that's the dream. Have someone like him.
So what you're saying is we need to go after their kids, right? And
give him
get
an
to
Australian
migrate.
passport, migration.
Do some dodgy deal.
I mean, Ronaldo could probably be a better prime minister than Abbott. So
Maybe we could go after the Beckham kids.
So winning the Asian Cup means we're now into the Confed Cup. Are there any other teams that have already qualified for it, or
Germany.
and Russia.
So Germany and Russia is the only two, and then is it the winner of this African Cup of Nations or the next one?
I think it's the next one.
And then it'll be the winner of the Euros as well.
Yeah, so probably.
Oh no.
I'm feeling Spain
Belgium,
or
maybe?
the Netherlands. No, Belgium are apparently struggling to qualify for it.
Oh really?
Could be France.
Ireland, come on, get in the Irish.
Oh, they're luckily Irish.
Dirty
potatoes.
Top of the morning to your lassie.
Who was your face?
We did the leprechaun.
Anyway, we might move on from that. We'll talk about deadline day, boys.
Oh,
We've already touched on it a little bit. Surprisingly, not much happened in the end.
Needs more
It was
dildos.
like one transfer, wasn't it?
Sorry?
That one transfer?
That one transfer.
Yeah, that guy United signed who's like 17 or something.
Well, we had Darren
Could be the next Zidane or Alaba.
No, that was the guy from One Bone from Bolton.
Darren Fletcher
So the
did leave
transfer
United.
was the Chelsea one.
I thought Fletcher was...
Quadrado.
Yeah.
Yeah, Quadrado made the move to Chelsea, and I think
Oh, Schuller.
Schürrle went off to Wolfsburg, which is a
Good move.
good signing for them.
Link up with De Bruyne.
Yep.
So they'll do well, I think.
I don't know if it's a good idea getting rid of Schürrle. I think he's a pretty good player.
I agree. I completely agree. I think I was surprised to see him forced out.
I'm not even sure if Quadrado is better. I mean, he's a better playmaker, but scoring goals, I think Schürrle is ahead.
Honestly,
Yeah,
I reckon.
I'm not too sure of that either.
I honestly
Well-
reckon the only reason Quadrado was bought is because he had a good World Cup.
I completely agree with that also.
The shirt wasn't bad either.
Yeah, so it's a
I
bit of a
agree with
strange one.
that too.
it's a bit of a strange one.
You agree?
But but I guess because Mourinho likes his hard workers, that's what Quadrado is. So he'll work hard up and down that flank.
Yeah, he's a tough kid. Works hard. One of those stamps pretty well.
Looks like Trevino too.
Just not as big as a forehead.
He looks
It's
a bit
not
strange.
saying much, to be honest.
Speaking of interesting looking players, we also had Aaron Lennon head to Everton on loan.
Didn't
He was
look
so
thrilled
happy.
with that move?
He looked so happy with that move, didn't he?
It seemed like it was a wind up. I mean, could he even look more angry if he tried?
Apparently someone dug out the photos from when he signed for Spurs and he had the same facial expression, so I guess that's just how he
Yeah.
looks.
I think
He
it's a
hates
wind. It's got to be a wind up. I mean, that's.
There's been
That
some
was
pretty funny memes made of him, like at theme parks and weddings and stuff, with with the facial expressions. So yeah, but you can't keep the Lennons away from Liverpool, can you?
Oh,
No.
Good one. Good one. I'll pay it.
Yeah, I couldn't think of anything better.
Gee, imagine that.
Yeah. And Hull brought in a striker in Dame Ndoye from Senegal, and we've already figured out the chant for him, which will be Ndoye will always love you.
Oh no! Did they actually buy him, pluck him from Senegal too?
Well, we bought him from Lokomotiv Moscow over in Russia,
Right.
but he's just had a decent tournament for Senegal at the African Cup of Nations next to Cisse.
How does the chant go again?
I'm not repeating it. You can listen back to the podcast if you want to hear it again.
Yeah.
Oh, I was I will. No, the best
I've
chant.
never heard of that guy.
The chant that I will miss the most now that
What?
Anderson has departed.
I've already brought him in on FIFA, and he's rated at 79, and we know that FIFA's the ultimate authority on this stuff. And I
Football Manager is.
played a match with him, and he injured himself after about 30 minutes. So
That's
Oh.
typical.
he's a typical Hull player already.
He had
You
the good
should have
chant
picked it
there.
up when I bought him, and let them know.
Yeah, he had the good chant. I was like, Anderson. He just is so excellent. And I mean, here's the sad part. He was 2 years off having a testimonial. I think it was 1 year,
For Anderson, how many
Yes.
games did he play for you guys?
like 100 odd.
Oh,
How many
jeez.
burgers did he eat?
How many years?
So he was there for what, 8 or 9 years?
Hey,
It's
He
like
came with Nani, didn't he?
yeah. But here's the thing, though, man. He was going to be the replacement for Fred the Red.
Oh, right, he was gonna be a mascot.
He was the perfect mascot. I mean, he's
Jeez.
cuddly, lovable. The kids would have loved him. Would give out free burgers to everyone.
Oh dear.
And another fun fact about the FA Cup. You know how West Ham fielded Sacco?
Yeah, actually, I saw that today.
Yeah.
Do you know how much they got fined?
Yeah, I saw this. So it was what they got fined 50,000,
71,000.
and the prize money was 90,000 or
80.
something. Yeah.
wow.
I mean, every club could do that now. I mean, they could just do that, say no. I mean, if you keep winning, I mean...
What I don't understand is why pulling out of the Senegal squad means that West Ham get fined, but when he plays for Senegal, they injure him. And he's West Ham's player. If West Ham say, no, you're not going to play for them because we don't trust their management of your injuries, why is that not legitimate?
Oh, it's because the Senegalese witch doctor performed black magic.
They're gonna have to perform it on Harry.
Rising from
Maybe
the
that's what he's
dead.
up to.
Yeah, he's buggered off to Africa.
Strange days.
Alright, well, we might move on to previewing next week's fixtures. And we'll start with the North London Derby, which is the early game for once, Cruyff. You'll be happy.
Yes, about time we got an early game and not a 4:30 kickoff. I think it'll be an absolute cracking game. Both teams in great form at a good time, obviously, and it'll be tightly contested. I think we should win, but I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't. But it'll be a cracking game nonetheless. And I don't think I spoke fast enough then.
Yeah. The only
Who's playing?
guarantee I can...
Do you reckon Harry Kane's going to be a threat?
Yes, but Ericsson more so.
More so?
Ericsson only scores in the last 10 minutes. You'll be okay as long as you're like leading back.
Or from
Really
free
cool
kicks?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see how Coquelin plays. But I mean, at the same time, they have to contain Giroud, Özil, Sanchez if he plays Walcott, Cazorla, Ramsey. So I mean, it'll be a close game, and it'll be a very good game. And I'm actually glad it's the early game. So.
Who's that new defender you've brought in?
Oh, Gabriel Paulista.
Any chance that he'll play in the next couple of weeks? I mean, obviously, I assume he's being brought in as a sort of Mertesacker replacement.
Set choice, but I mean, when Kos and Mertesacker play together, they're quite a solid partnership. But
do you see him sort of replacing Mertesacker down the line, though? Is that
I think so.
the
Apparently,
idea?
he's a bit of a thug, which is good. So
Okay.
we need a bit of mongrel in our team. But I think he's 25 maybe, but it'd be good to. I think he's more of a Koscielny type player, like sort of fast. Sort of thing, but I haven't seen him play admittedly, but it'd be good to see him get a run in the next few weeks at some point.
Well, it was interesting. I think on Sky Sports they were doing a poll, and a lot of people were rating him as the best signing at the January window. So,
but then in saying that, was there really that many signings?
Well,
so
yes.
it's not much.
Well, there was
to
that
go
one
off,
other
really.
one. There was the 2 transfers.
yes, that's two transfers. Now, I don't know if everyone realises this, but you guys know that when the fixtures repeat, they have the exact same set of fixtures as the original week, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
didn't
they've
check
done
that.
that. They've done that for a couple of years, and I think it was a few weeks ago, people talking about how I think it was the 1st of January games that everyone was playing the same teams, but no one seemed to pick up on that. They've done it for a few years now, so that's why I made the comment. This is the exact same set of fixtures that we had Grand Final Day.
I think they alternate here and there, though. You won't.
Really?
Yeah.
I think a few rounds swap around at points.
Oh, the
'Cause I
round.
don't-
Oh, yeah. They don't do it in the same order, but I think on any given week, the same teams will be
I
playing.
know what you mean.
Yeah?
So you're saying they were all.
I don't
in
think
order.
he played West Ham on that day.
I would look it up because I reckon you did. And let's have a look.
Oh yeah, I got confused. I thought it was October.
So it was the end of September.
I forgot Grand Final Day. All right, I'm a bad Australian.
Yeah, so did I.
Who won the grand final?
I would have no idea. I was piss roaring drunk.
Businesses, because there was a lot of business after half time because it was a terrible game.
Yeah. We'll talk about Hull Man City now, actually, because then I can say that the only things I remember from this game is Mangala putting the ball into his own net, and then giving away a penalty for Hernandez to put us 2-2 at half time in that one, and me thinking,
Oh, that's right, and you lost 4-2 or something.
we did,
didn't you?
and I was thinking, here we go, this will be redemption after the Swannies have let me down, and no, we lost 4-2. I think it was Zabaleta and Lampard who scored.
How do you think you'll go this time around?
I'll bring out the same line I used about Chelsea a few weeks ago. Anything less than a tennis score, and I'll be happy. If we can walk away with about a 2 or 3 goal loss, I'll be happy.
You guys are in big strife, though.
We are. Everyone's making fun of Villa, but we're actually the second lowest scorers in the Premier League. We've had.
Are you getting injuries coming back, or?
To be fair, we've scored 20, so it's not as if we're close to Villa.
Yeah.
We are getting our injured players back. Against Newcastle, we actually had 4 players come back unexpectedly. They were a bit rusty, which is. Sorry?
I think once Diame's fit again, it'll help you a lot.
Yeah, Diami's due back either this week or against Villa, which is our next game, which will be a big one. I think Ndoye, if he gets clearance, will probably come off the bench because we don't want to run him into the ground after the African Cup of Nations. But I think all eyes are on the Villa game, not on this one.
How easy is the run?
The run home is really tough. We've got a Norwich-esque run home in May, but the next, I think, 4 home games are Villa, Sunderland, QPR, and Burnley.
You really need to be winning 3 of those games.
Yeah, so I think we've targeted 3 wins out of those, and that would take us up to about 30 points.
You watch Villa put 5 past you.
Please don't say that. They're actually a bogey team of ours.
I'll put it this way: if Hull win all 4 of those games, you're out of the relegation zone.
Oh, for sure. If we win all
You have
4, I think we're
31
safe.
points.
I think if we win all 4, we're basically safe, because that would take us to 7 wins and about 10 draws or something. Which
And
is, I know that's only about 33 points, but the way this season's going with sides like QPR and Leicester not picking up points at all, and Villa as well. I think, honestly, for me, I think if we get above Villa on the table, we're not going back below them.
You reckon?
The way they're going, I just can't see them picking up many points at all at the moment. They scored, the last time we played Villa, the score was 3-1 to Villa, so they scored about a third of their goals for the season against us.
Wow.
So,
That's embarrassing.
hopefully that doesn't repeat. Oh, to be fair, that was when they were in their good run of form, but hopefully that doesn't repeat. But anyway, that's
A good run of form in the first 2 games.
in their first, I think it was 3 or 4 games, yeah.
Just to guess, Sam, it could be worse. You could be Dortmund right now.
I was going to bring that game up. I saw that scoreline this morning. I think, was it the first ever time that side had beaten Dortmund, and the fans booed the players, and Hummels and somebody went over to the fans.
Weidenfeller.
Weidenfeller. First time in the 80-year history that they lost at home to Augsburg.
Which is ridiculous, really.
They're in a bit of strife, to put it plainly.
Do we see Klopp getting the sack?
No, I mean, they'll probably get a rebound
The question
season.
needs to be asked, though. The question does need to be asked. Is his time up?
And would he get a big club coming after him if he was sacked, or
Yes.
has this tainted
Yes.
him? Yes.
He'll be Arsenal after this. Like that's my thing.
Yeah, I get the sense he's going to end
If
up at
not, he'll
Arsenal.
be at PSG because they're going to sack Blanc soon enough.
So that will be an interesting one. The other big derby we've got this weekend, of course, is Everton up against Liverpool as the late game. Perhaps some Phil Jagielka heroics on repeat.
Oh, that's right, the belter.
The absolute belter in the last minute, which I'd missed because I'd gone to bed. I'd had
Oh,
enough.
it's going to be a cracking game. One of those 6-pointers mid-table clash.
Yeah. Well, for Everton, if they can't, they need the points to get up out of the
Relegation
battle. Yeah. They were lucky they got that win against Palace.
I mean, it is a huge game, really, but the way Everton are going, you have to wonder, will they get anything out of the game? But at the same time, form goes right out the window in derbies.
Yeah.
Well, I think Sturridge has made his return right at the right time for Liverpool because he'll be a huge boost for them in this game.
But he could get
Liverpool
injured.
shouldn't have trouble against Everton. I mean, they've actually hit a bit of a groove, Liverpool, and it'll be a bit funny if they can't beat Everton. I don't know.
I think they'd be pretty unhappy if they can't. Yeah, I do want to ask the question, if Sturridge goes down injured again, and Liverpool haven't brought in a new striker, which they haven't done, Rodgers would be getting a lot of heat for that, wouldn't he?
Well, they bought 2 strikers in the last window before the one just closed, and they were trying to sell them in the last window.
I think we made an inquiry for Lambert, actually, and they had a bid accepted from Villa, didn't they?
Ooh, that's going to increase your goal striking presence. Have Ricky Lambert.
Yeah.
There was an argument about that on the forum between Jets and Apollo.
What was the argument about?
Ricky Lambert and if he'd score goals for Villa or not, and
I
how
reckon he
terrible
would, to be
Lambert is
honest.
as a player, and if he'd do well or...
Lambert isn't a terrible player, he's just playing at a club that's probably above him. But if he went back to a Villa sort of club, he'd put in, 3 or 4, 5 goals maybe.
If they're not scoring with Benteke, they ain't going to score for Lambert.
Maybe.
Well,
Benteke
Lambert-
strikes me as pretty out of form, though.
Still, he's still better than Lambert in any way. And they're not creating chances too, Villa, so that's that big issue.
What if Balotelli went to Villa?
Oh, jeez.
He would either score a goal every game and suddenly turn into Leo Messi, or most likely he will be a giant sack of potato.
He would not give 2 arses if he went to Villa. He would just plod along, get his paycheck every week, and would not give a rat's ass.
Look, if I'm Villa and I've scored 11 goals for the whole season, I'm not going to be targeting Liverpool strikers to solve that.
How does Lambert still have a job?
Yeah, I'm
Which Lambert?
surprised at that. I assume you mean Paul Lambert.
Yes, I forgot his first name. I was going to say Neil. How's he still employed after they were shit last season? They were shit since he took over, and they're still shit now.
Yeah, because I always thought that the reason he had a job was because they were playing a young side, they were progressing, and they were sort of seeing that
They
he'd
haven't
lead
gone
them up the
anywhere.
table.
They haven't gone anywhere.
Yeah, well, exactly.
As Cookie said before, they're just a nothing club who happen to have won a Champions Cup. But
And
I
their
mean,
owner came out and defended him and said, "Oh, it's not his
he's
fault."
terrible as well. Randy Lerner's horrible. But I mean, what are they actually doing?
They're
I
collecting their 1/19th slice from the Premier League thing. They're doing literally nothing with it.
I reckon they need the relegation to sort of jolt them out of it, and it'll actually revitalise them as a club. Sort of like Newcastle a couple of years ago.
Revitalise them and send them to the third or fourth division.
They might be able to score some goals finally.
I don't know.
You never know.
Against Portsmouth.
It took us 180 minutes to score 3 against Cambridge, so Villa could be screwed there.
Good point. They've got Chelsea this week, so decent shot at scoring a couple of goals this week.
Didn't they
Is-
beat Chelsea a season or two back? I think I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they did.
Maybe not last season, but you might be right. I know that they beat you guys last season.
Yeah, thanks for that. We beat you guys in the FA Cup. It's all right.
Yeah.
And we still beat Arsenal under David Moyes.
Oh, we won a trophy last season.
So did we.
Shut
Community
up.
Shield, #1.
Moyes' one and only trophy with United.
He beat Barcelona.
You can't see Chelsea losing to
Oh, if Chelsea lost to Villa, that would have to be just about the upset of the
season.
millennium.
Yeah.
The only chance of Chelsea losing this is they somehow comedically pass the ball into their own net from the halfway line.
Oh yeah, that would be it. Like, if Chelsea lost, it would be from an own goal, so Villa still wouldn't have actually scored a goal.
It's almost tempting to chuck all your savings on a Chelsea win.
It is. It is very... Oh, they'd be paying like $1.10 or something, if that.
I'd rather not chuck my savings. It's not worth it.
Just don't have any
Yeah.
much savings.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, Chelsea have looked a bit fatigued last month.
Yeah, I mean, they have struggled a little bit, but, I mean, I don't know. You can't... I know last week...
Fabregas back. I know Costa's out.
Yeah, I think Costa's out for another 2 games. I assume Fabregas is back. But I know you were saying last week, Cruyff, that you wouldn't be surprised if Villa had scored against you guys, and I'm sure pretty much every side's now sort of got that worry that they'll be the side that...
Yeah.
They've got to score.
Exactly, they've got to score sooner or later.
Yeah, don't worry, it'll be against us next week.
God, I'd laugh.
Oh, I would cry.
I'd laugh.
I would
I'd
cry.
laugh. No, just wait. I'd laugh if Villa scored an own goal.
Oh, against
That-
us
that
or
would
against
be
anyone?
happy.
They'll score, but
The wrong end,
The wrong
yeah.
way.
That would be good. We've also got Man United up against West Ham, as you alluded to before, Cookie. West Ham going through a bit of a bad patch at the moment. How do you see that one?
But bogey team, aren't they, West Ham for United?
no, we beat them.
Often, though, or you slip up against them occasionally? I could be imagining things,
Beat
but...
them quite a lot.
Okay. I know... yeah, okay, I'm going back 10 years ago, but I remember you lost one game at Upton Park, but as I said, it's quite a while ago, and I look like a dickhead now, so I'm going to stop talking.
Actually, no. I think I'm going to eat my own words because I do think you guys played them a little bit later in the season than those other games. I'll just have a look at
You're
that.
still going on about that?
No, we didn't. I checked it.
Oh, it was on that day?
We played them on the 27th of September.
Yes, that'd be it.
I believe was grand
It
final
would have
day. It was
been,
the
and-
early game.
And Sacco would have scored the goal for West Ham, I believe.
Paddy McNair made his debut.
That's right, no, because I remember watching a replay of it in a pub, and I didn't think that was so soon after the grand final. Anyway, we can move on from that and talk about the game.
You think United at home would be a sure thing?
We're away, but we've changed. We've been a bit sus away, but
It depends to how LVG decides to line up.
Can you
Probably-
please play Rooney as a striker?
I'll just pick up my. I'll pick up my
You still
phone and
have
I'll
Rooney
call him.
in your fantasy.
I brought him in only recently because they had a good run of fixtures.
Get Darley Linden.
I'll be right. Actually, I've got to make my wildcard this week, so maybe I will.
In fact, yeah, it's pretty much.
Giroud is my tip at the moment for a striker.
Who?
I got rid of him after...
Giroud.
Wait. Giroud?
Giroud.
He's French. His name's not important.
Giroud.
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 Are you being very? Are you being very
so it's a
Giroud?
Giroud. I'm calling him Giroud. Oh yeah.
I think I got rid of him after he got his red card the other week, so... I don't know.
Dump Rooney and he'll score a hat trick. So please do that.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? I had him earlier in the season as well and made him captain. I think it was the week you guys had Burnley. And that was that 0-0 game. I was pretty unhappy with about that one.
But yeah, pretty
Anyway.
much. As long as we line up with Blind, Di Maria, I probably would pick Fellaini. Maybe Herrera as a midfield. That'd be a pretty decent midfield against West Ham.
Well, I think, and Jats was making the point on the forum, when you look at the table, Stoke are only 4 points behind West Ham, and you think West Ham's had such an amazing season. Does that mean we have to say a little bit about how well Stoke's been going? I mean, we joke about the fact that they haven't been much of a football side in recent years, but this season and last season under Mark Hughes, I mean, credit has to go to Mark Hughes. He's really turned them around.
He's turned him
Yeah,
into a
but-
football club.
When you look
That's
at,
assuming,
Sorry?
That's assuming West Ham have done well. They're below Liverpool, so...
No, fair enough. But, I mean, credit's got to go to Mark Hughes because he had looked a bit in trouble as a manager after, spells at Man City, Fulham, Blackburn.
It was good at Blackburn, I think.
I think, was he at Blackburn before...
Or was that Allardyce?
I think he was
Might
at
have been
Blackburn before he was at Man City.
Yeah.
Oh, he's at QPR as well. That was the other one.
He was good at Blackburn from memory. He was sort of 7th, 8th
Yeah, so
sort of thing.
he sort of redeemed himself after bad spells at QPR and Fulham, I think, So-
And City.
and City.
We shit at City.
Oh, to be fair to him, I think he was manager when just after the takeover, so
Yeah.
he was always going to sort of be stuck in that sort of transition period.
Yeah, where else has
Yeah.
he been?
I think that's it. So I think he
Played it.
started at Blackburn, then he was at Man City, then Fulham, then QPR, and now Stoke.
He was in Barcelona a bit too.
Oh, as a player, yeah, and at United.
Whereas he scored like 100 80 odd goals, I believe, something like that.
Yeah, he was a decent striker back in the day.
Good partner with Eric, best striker
We
in the
don't
Premier
need
League.
to talk about United anymore, though.
I think we need to talk about United. I think we talk about why Eric Cantona is the best French striker ever to have lived.
Jus Fontaine says hello.
Who?
Jus Fontaine. Exactly.
Jus
Who
Fontaine.
scored 12 goals at the 1958 World Cup.
I was
There's
thought
a-
you would go for Henry there. I was expecting bait there. Hung bait out, no nibbles, disappointed.
Got to try harder.
I think that's just about it from games to look forward to. Any other games to catch the eye? I mean, we've got QPR up against Southampton. We've got Leicester up against Palace.
There's a Madrid derby on this weekend, which is pretty decent. You'd
Yeah.
expect. I think Ronaldo's back from suspension.
Is he? I don't know. Real Madrid have been playing better without him.
You're the fanboy, Club. You tell us.
Yeah. I'll just say no, but maybe he is.
James got taken off injured this morning.
Yeah, broke his
Yeah, it's
fifth
really
next
disappointing
task.
that.
He broke his
He
what?
was playing real well, but it's good news for Real Madrid. Aren't going to suffer. I mean, because Modric should come back soon,
And
and,
Isco.
and it's really good news for Isco because he's basically playing the whole season because he's filling in for one injured player. It was Modric, now it's James. Jesse Rodriguez coming back as well. So I'm pretty happy if Ronaldo just wants to sit it up.
And speaking of Madrid, I wanted to talk about what's the Wonder Kid's name?
Martin Odegaard.
Odegaard. Yeah, he's been named in the Champions League squad, I believe.
Yeah, and he performed really well for the B team.
Yeah, I think he assisted 2 goals, or he was involved in 2 goals.
Yeah, on his debut.
So pretty impressive for he's 16 still, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
Yes.
just turned 16.
That's incredible.
I wave
He'll
about
be
my
the youngest Champions League player if he plays against Schalke.
Do you reckon he will?
I reckon they'll give him a little bit of time. Schalke.
Schalke.
Schalke. We all can't speak German like you, Cruyff.
They should play him against Schalke.
Chalk?
Chalk.
Schalke.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Any closing thoughts, boys? Cooksen,
Oh, not much.
fall on the floor?
Nada.
Nada? Alright, before we lose Cruyff completely, I might thank you boys for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Oh yeah,
and-
gracias.
And thank you everyone else for listening. And until next week, we'll see you on the forums.